Awesome. Well, welcome everybody. Thank you again for joining us today. My name is Victor Briones. I'm with the County of Ventura, representing the Tri-County Regional Energy Network. This presentation here today is going to be talking about 3C Ren's new Agricultural Energy Solutions Program. This is a technical assistance program for growers in the Tri-County region. And we'll go a little bit into kind of who 3C Ren is and who these services are for, and a little bit more about what this service specifically tackles. So just a reminder on kind of just Zoom. I know we're all pretty much used to being on Zoom meetings now, I'm sure, but just wanted to put this slide up here for everybody. It'd be helpful to have you all just introduce yourselves in the chat, just full name as well. And then if you're calling in, sharing your first and last name with us would be helpful as well, just so we know who's joining us today. A reminder as well to please stay on mute once you join. You're welcome to use the chat to share any questions or comments throughout the presentation. If we don't get to your question during the presentation, there will be a Q&A at the end as well, where we'll be able to address it. During that time as well, we'll be inviting anybody joining us today to raise your hand and ask questions that way, and then we'll call on you. And then as a reminder, the session is being recorded and will be posted on our 3C Ren website, so you can revisit the information after that. And then just wanted to share really quickly, this is who you're going to be hearing from today. So again, myself, my name is Victor Briones with the Tri-County Regional Energy Network, and I am the Agriculture Energy Solutions Program Manager. We also have Ian Kinsley here with Seinergy, who is our program implementer for the AES program. And I can let him and let the rest of the presenters speak for themselves as well. So if you want to get on camera and unmute yourselves, feel free to give just a brief introduction.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ian Nisley from Seinergy. Yeah, we're the program implementers. I'll be walking through kind of what the program actually offers. And yeah, excited to see everyone on this call. It's great.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ted Fitzgerald. I'm the program manager for the SoCal AEE program, serving growers on the Edison and SoCal gas grid. And I'll be chatting later and excited to hear more about this presentation.
Hey, good morning, everyone. This is Kyle Clark with NSAVE, Ted's colleague. I'm a program director for the SoCal Ag Energy Efficiency programs and just supporting our team in Southern California.
Okay, I'll go. I'm Andy Gustafson. I'm the program manager serving the TRC Agricultural Energy Saving Action Plan program through the PG&E territory. So nice to see you all.
Hi, I'm Susie LeRae. I'm also with the Agriculture Energy Savings Action Plan, supporting alongside Andy. Nice to have you here.
Awesome. Thanks to everybody for introducing yourselves. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into the presentation here. So I'm sure 3C Ren might be a new name for very many people here. We're kind of new to the agricultural industry, so I just wanted to give a brief introduction on who we are. So 3C Ren is a collaboration between the Tri-County region, that's going to be San Luis Obispo County, Santa Barbara County, and Ventura County. Our programs are designed to reduce energy use for a more sustainable, equitable, and economically vibrant Central Coast. And all our services are funded through the California Public Utilities Commission and bringing ratepayer dollars back into our region. Just wanted to put this slide up here for everybody just to give you an idea of what our services are. So here are services at a glance. We have incentive services, training services, and then the services you'll be hearing, or the service you'll be hearing from me today about is a technical assistance service, excuse me. And so with that, we'll get into it. So agriculture energy solutions. So what is it and who is it for? Mentioned that this is a free technical assistance program for farmers and ag producers in 3C Ren territory. So again, that'll be in San Luis Obispo, Santa Barbara, and Ventura counties. And what you'll get out of this program is you'll get knowledge on energy efficiency, as well as recommendations for equipment upgrades and connections to complementary incentive programs. So how exactly are we going to be doing this? Well, through our program, we actually have three offerings or three services that you'll gain through this. The first is going to be a utility bill analysis. Following that is a facility assessment, and then finally it'll be a benchmarking report. And I did want to note that interested farmers do not have to participate in all three programs. You'll kind of phase into each one. So you'll start out at the utility bill analysis, and if you choose to continue on, then you'll move on to the facility assessment, and then again with the benchmarking. As I mentioned earlier, we have Seinergy as our implementation partner for this program. Here I have on the screen is the staff that you'll be interacting with should you choose to participate in the program. Bob Gunn is the contract supervisor. He has an MBA and is a certified energy manager. He has 14 plus years in energy efficiency sector. You also have Poston Smith, the project manager, also a certified energy manager and has 5+ years in renewable energy, energy efficiency, and program management. And then finally, we have Ian Knisley, also a project manager as an MEM in business and environment, and has 4+ years in sustainable cannabis. And with that, I'll actually pass it over to Ian, who will get a little bit more detailed information on what each of our offerings has in store.
Thanks, Victor. Yeah, hello everyone again. My name's Ian Knisley. So as you just saw, Bob and Poston are part of my team. They're kind of the engine behind a lot of this analysis. So I'll be the client facing. You'll probably be interacting with me mostly. But yeah, I just want to run through some of those buckets that Victor just ran through. And so the first kind of offering that we're really excited to offer you guys is this utility bill analysis. Generally, we find that audits will overlook the utility bill, but there's a ton of valuable information in there. And so that's really where we want to start this journey. We'll access your interval data through a service called Utility API, and we'll use that to provide kind of a 30,000-foot view of your energy consumption. It's not an ASHRAE level audit, but it kind of will just give us a perspective on your energy trends and if there's any low-hanging fruit that we can really go after. So we'll conduct this analysis and we'll give you guys heat maps and charts and graphs and make sure that you guys are on the right the right tariff. If there's any easy load shaping opportunities to get you on different timing schedules, and at the very least, kind of, you can think of this as even if you're doing everything right, this will be like a clean bill of health. You'll be confident and reassured that you're doing everything that you can to reduce your energy consumption. And at the end of this, we'll give you a report kind of summarizing all of that, which looks just like this. This is your energy bill at a glance. It'll kind of show you your trends, where your peaks are, where your demands are, and where we can really shave off any unnecessary energy spend. The second bucket, after we've gone through the interval data, we'll have an idea of what's happening at your facility, but we'll really want to match that to a perspective on the ground. So we'll do a facility walkthrough essentially, where we'll walk through your facility with a camera and just take a look around to make sure that what we're seeing on the data matches your equipment on the ground. We'll generally we think that it's very helpful to understand how a facility is laid out, and there are often things that we see when we do a site inspection that don't show up on the data. And so making sure that all of your pumps, all of your equipment is showing up in the data. And then again, we will provide a report at the end of that experience. It'll give you recommendations if we think, oh, you guys could upgrade your lights. We could get you thermal screens. We can recommend pump upgrades, anything that, again, will lead to energy savings. And then I think next slide, please, Victor. Yeah. And lastly, as we go through all this data, the Resource Innovation Institute is a nonprofit that essentially provides a benchmarking service for controlled environment agriculture growers. And it's you can think of it as being similar to Energy Star, their portfolio manager tool. And really, we like to see it as a way to benchmark. not only against your peers, it's an anonymous data set, so you can see how you stack up against other similar facilities. But more importantly, it's a great way to benchmark where you are and see your baseline so that when we do hopefully recommend some of these energy efficiency upgrades, that in a year's time, we will be able to actually see in the data how the consumption has decreased or is become more efficient. And so by going through all the data, we essentially have all of the registration equipment or information necessary to register you with RII. And so we will do that whole application process for you. And yeah, the broad idea is to get you into the RII network so that you can have more perspective on your consumption. And so that's a very high level overview. We're really excited to get into it with you guys and see your data. That's yeah. Thanks, Victor.
Yeah, thank you, Ian. Yeah, so jumping back in here, wanted to just give an overview too on what the eligibility criteria is for individuals to participate in the program. So this, I mentioned 3C REN is for the Tri-County region. So of course, those participating in the program must reside in San Luis Obispo, Santa Barbara, or Ventura counties. You also must be an SCE, SoCalGas, or PG&E customer. In order to participate, you also must be willing to provide information to comply with 3C REN's reporting requirements. And then finally, I know we've mentioned CEA or Controlled Environment Agriculture. However, anybody that falls within the NAICS code or North American Industry Classification System Code 11 definition is eligible to participate in the program. And then I wanted to go back a little bit here because we mentioned this is a technical assistance program. It's completely free, but we don't have incentives, but we will be connecting you to incentive programs to implement those recommendations that are given to you through the facility assessment phase. So that's the second phase here. After participating in the facility assessment and getting those recommendations, along with those recommendations, we'll be identifying what incentives you can apply for. And so that'll include rebates or incentive programs that can help you fund those equipment upgrades. Along with that, we won't just be giving you the incentives that you can apply for, but we'll be making direct connections with the available programs. So earlier, we introduced you to some representatives from ASAP and the AGE program. So we'll be connecting you directly with them so they can walk you through the rebate process to be able to get funds to implement those energy efficiency upgrades. And on here, I also just wanted to point out that some of the incentive programs, like I mentioned, ASAP or the Agriculture Energy Savings Action Plan, the Agriculture Energy Efficiency Program as well. And then also wanted to let you know that the air districts in our region also have some incentive programs that may be applicable. I'm sure many of you are familiar with Carl Moyer, just to name one of them. And then the Natural Resource Conservation Service also has different programs that you can apply for incentives for following the receipt of those recommendations. And so with that, I'll actually pass it over to Andy, who's with TRC, who will give a little bit more information on incentives and the ASAP program. So Andy,
Hey,
I'll hand it off to you.
All right, sounds good. All right, so once again, yeah, this is Andy Gustafson. I'll be just briefly introducing our third-party incentive program. So this program is the Agricultural Energy Savings Action Plan. It's a mouthful, so we just call it ASAP for short, AESAP. It is run by our company, TRC. TRC is a global engineering and consulting firm which implements various utility programs throughout the country, and we're excited to be supporting multiple programs in California, including this ASAP program. So what is ASAP? So ASAP offers rebates, incentives, and financing for energy saving projects involving like retrofitting or installing energy consuming equipment, specifically in the PG&E territory. That's where our program serves. So just briefly touching on those types of incentives and rebates that we have. So deemed rebates are what are like pre-approved prescriptive measures that pay out rebates for installations. Typically, there's no pre-approval needed for those. We just collect the invoices with paperwork, and we'll process and mail out the rebate in about 1 to 2 months. Some of the measures for these sort of canned prescriptive deemed rebates might be like variable frequency drives and well and booster pumps, grow lighting, building envelope measures, boilers, heat recovery, and more. We have a rebate catalog on our website that lists all those prescriptive deemed rebate measure offerings that we have. For things that don't fall in that rebate category, we also offer what's called custom incentives. And custom measures are when the energy savings are determined using sort of a site-specific analysis or basically calculations, and we finalize the project at the completion stage. So the one thing with custom calculated is there is a pre-approval process for that before you can purchase, rip out equipment, or start making that decision on that project, right? So it's important to be involved early with these programs on those other non-prescriptive measures. The incentives are typically paid based on customer needs and on like a savings type basis. And it does require some proof of influence, which we'll help navigate through on that. Our program also offers financing support. One example of this could be what's PG&E's on-bill financing program, which offers 0% interest loans for projects that result in savings at the meter. And those loans range from $5,000 up to even $4 million. And those energy savings are what pay off that loan at 0% interest. So that's one of those financing options that we can have through our ASAP program. The program started in 2021 and will be running through at least 2027. Once again, we're serving the ag segments within the PG&E service territory. Our services are at absolutely no cost to you, the customer. We are reimbursed separately through PG&E. We don't take a cut of anything on the incentive or anything like that. We are mostly engineers on our team, a lot of engineers on our team doing engineering technical support and helping facilitate these incentives and rebates. Lastly, just covering the type of sectors we serve. Specifically, it's crop production, CEA, controlled environmental horticulture, dairy and livestock, and we also serve wineries and breweries and distilleries. Good, next slide, please. There we go. So the application process is pretty straightforward. I would just recommend just contacting us through our website, even email or phone, just giving some information on the type of equipment that you're looking to upgrade. If it's a rebate, we just need to know some high-level information about it. We'll basically review it and discuss the project opportunity, the viability of it, and any questions that we might have, we'll follow up with you. We'll send the paperwork for signature when the time's right, the application and certification forms for completion. And then we'll help process that rebate for you. So that's it kind of in a nutshell. We're happy to answer any questions you might have. Just let us know. On the bottom right here, we do have some information there that is basically our website, a phone number, and then agenergysavings.com. That's agenergysavings.com is the website where you can find out a lot of information on programs. So yeah, thanks. Nice talking with you all.
Thank you so much, Andy. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Ted. Now he's going to give a little bit more information on the Ag EE program, and he is with NSAVE. So
Thank
Ted.
you, Victor.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Andy. You did a great job explaining how these programs work in California. SoCal Ag EE isn't too much different from what process Andy described to apply for the rebate, but we service growers in the Edison territory and the SoCal gas territory. I work at NSAVE alongside Kyle Clark here, and we are partnered up with ICF to implement the rebate program for these two utilities. It's mainly in Ventura, Santa Barbara for electric with the Edison program, and then for SoCal gas, it goes all the way up to San Luis Obispo. So PG&E kind of covers the electric side of San Luis Obispo, whereas we cover anything south of Santa Barbara. Just wanted to kind of divide and conquer because visually I like to see a map, whatever. Anyways, so we have a program with Edison, and the biggest hot topic is indoor horticulture LED. And the rebates that you can get for that is anywhere from $69 to $538 a light. And depending on the crop type, whether you're a greenhouse or indoor grower, or the phase of cultivation, either vegetative or flower, the price will range. And there's about 12 different scenarios. And depending on what crop you're growing, the phase that you're growing, flowering or vegetative, or if you're greenhouse or indoor, you can get anywhere from $69 to upwards of $500 a light, 538. And the rebate pays out 100% of the cost of the fixture and the materials. So a lot of these growers can essentially get free lighting upgrades if they qualify for the highest rebates. We also service growers that have irrigation VFDs, variable frequency drives, ventilation fans, fan VFDs, and pump VFDs. We also have a custom rebate project incentive pipeline that takes a while to get in the works, but if you need assistance along the way, we'd be happy to help. You can go to the next slide. And yeah, with SoCal Gas, the main measures that we're focusing on are heat curtains for greenhouses, infrared film, and boilers. Those are the three hot topic measures for SoCal Gas. There's been a lot of growers in Carpinteria taking advantage of this program, and it really helps out these growers when making upgrades. You'd have to reach out to us to determine whether you are in a DAC community, disadvantaged community, or a hard to reach customer. These customers will be eligible for higher rebate incentives just because they're harder to reach, and we want to service those customers more suitably. And that is just a quick summary of the program. You can reach out directly to me on my email, tedf@nsave.com, or reach out to Kyle or Marlon here. He's our program engineer. And we've just recently brought on another team member, Andrew, who's on this call, and we'll start to incorporate him into this program as well. Thank you so much, Victor. And yeah, if you have any questions about this SoCal Aggie E program, reach out to us. We'd be happy to support.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Ted.
Yeah.
Well, and that pretty much covers a majority of the information here that we have for you today. I know it was a lot of information to throw at you in 30 minutes here, so we wanted to leave time here for you all to ask any questions. I believe the ones that were mentioned in the chat here have been addressed, but yeah, if there are any questions about any of the three programs, feel free to raise your hand or unmute yourself, and we're happy to answer them.
Hello, again, this is Peggy Hawkins. I'm working with Equest, where we have two businesses that we're working with as far as grants from the Department of Labor. And so we have one program, it's called Field of Opportunity, where we serve the youth, as I mentioned earlier, from 14 to 24. And we also have Sowing Seeds of Success. That means anybody that works in agriculture, whether it was 10 years ago, 2 years ago, or maybe 25, 30 years ago, anybody is eligible. We do not have to follow the protocols for INS. Anybody is eligible. I'm a job developer. Unfortunately, I won't be able to find them jobs, but I can find them some training and upgrade their skills, learn English, and it's all free. So I'm going to go ahead and post this again. Thank you for all the information. This way, when I'm out in the field talking to our participants, we can let them know, I will let them know about the services that you provide. And so I'm really grateful that we do have these programs, and I'm happy to be here and spread the words and spread the seeds. And so I put my email there. If you want additional information, give me a call and I will answer any of your questions. We do have other programs that is second chance programs. We have youth programs, Gen X. It's just too many to enter, and all the services are free. There, I mean, we have government contracts. Like I mentioned, we document in the Department of Labor, and so that is something that we want to use these funds for as soon as possible and help these folks.
Of course. Thank you so much, Peggy. And I actually threw in the chat as well for anybody interested in learning a little bit more information or seeing some of the flyers that we have on this program on our website. It's just 3cren.org/agriculture or ag. That'll get you to our website to learn more. Sorry, go ahead, Erica.
Thanks, Victor, and thanks to all the presenters today. We're excited to launch this program. I work for 3C-REN alongside Victor with the County of Ventura, and I was wondering if the Seinergy team could just speak a little bit more to the opportunities for farmers to save energy even without implementing a measure. When we were designing this program, that's something that really stood out to me and I thought would be of interest to this group. So could you speak a little bit more to how just things like changing your rate tariff can help the farmers save money?
Sure. Yeah, I'll jump in and maybe Bob can, add a little extra color. But generally, we often find that growers are on the incorrect tariff and will be using electricity at a rate far greater than they actually need, or essentially being billed far too much for the consumption that they actually need. And so by getting them onto the correct rate, that's usually a pretty significant way to, right off the bat, reduce energy costs. We find in California a lot of our clients are on standard industrial rates, but can be transferred over to pumping and ag, and that will, very quickly lead to savings.
Yeah. Sorry, noisy truck driving by. Hi everyone, this is Bob Gunn with Seinergy. I totally agree with what Ian's saying. Like you mentioned, Erica, and thanks for the question. One of our objectives here is to help increase the energy literacy of all the participants, whether that, from the CFO down to the person operating a pump, or making a decision about how to use equipment that might spike their demand in a way that's actually detrimental. But with some education, maybe that pump or something could be soft started or staggered around other loads. But yeah, at a high level, I mean, we've been working kind of similar to the other two presenters on the demand side management utility incentive program that usually has to do with capital projects. So if someone's upgrading their lighting or their HVAC or their thermal screens, there's good incentive opportunities. That's great. So that's the capital expense, CapEx side of things. But the operating expense, the utility bill's there every day, and really every 15-minute increment of the day. We're trying to shine light onto those patterns. And there's a lot of information really behind the scenes in the utility billing system that we're trying to extract. So hopefully growers come away with a better understanding of demand charges versus energy charges and what those are, and how their operating decisions can flow down to the bottom line. Even if it's using the same amount of energy, but at different times, it might be fewer dollars. So we can say that's a success. And things like demand response programs are really on the rise, where growers might get paid to be on standby. Any facility might get paid to be on standby if they have a load of, say, 100 kilowatts or more that they could reduce during a time of peak strain. That's called demand response. If you kind of get ahead of the curve and start the conversation with the utility early, you can get paid to provide that backup resource, even whether or not the grid calls for that. So those are the type of operating opportunities that save energy, reduce carbon, but also, I think, help people get engaged in their energy bill. So those are some of the objectives and things that we're looking for, which is why, like Ian said, we like to start with the energy bill, because oftentimes a clipboard audit will miss some of those big things. Yeah, we're really looking forward to working with farmers of all sizes. So thanks for the time.
Thank you so much, Bob and Ian, for adding that additional context there. I did also want to add, earlier we mentioned the facility assessment, and on there mentioned that it's mainly going to be a virtual audit. However, there are going to be a virtual assessment, but our 3C-REN staff is available for in-person assistance. So if virtual is something you might need a little bit more assistance with, we're happy to be there and help. So please don't shy away from moving forward with that service as well. If virtual is kind of steering you away, we'll definitely be available to provide in-person assistance.
Thank you, Victor. Yeah, that's a great point.
Awesome. Any other questions from the group here on the Ag Energy Solutions program or from either of the other two programs as well?
Victor, I just wanted to call out the question in the chat about CCA. So I know that we have several different programs represented here. So to clarify, 3C Run programs, we do work with CCA customers all the time. So that should not be an issue. And then I think, Susie, I believe you're with the PG&E program. So I see that you responded back that CCA customers are eligible. And I assume that would be true for the SCE program as well.
Yeah, yes, that definitely you don't have to be it's not required to be solely PG&E. I know there are some rebate programs out there like SCHIP and stuff that you can't be on a CCA for various reasons. So just to clarify, there's no restrictions like that at all. And then just in case it was a little confusing, since it's 3C REN, you don't have to be on 3CE service. That is just one of the qualifying CCAs. But yep, basically, if you get a bill from PG&E, or at least for our program, you definitely would qualify.
Yeah, and for 3C RENs programs, sorry, all these acronyms are so similar, but for 3C RENs programs, because we cover the tri-counties, if it's any one of the utilities, and you can be involved with your CCA in addition. The only time we can't serve a customer would be if, for example, in our territory, I think there's one municipal utility in Lompoc. If they don't receive gas or electricity from PG&E, SoCal REN, or sorry, oh my gosh, PG&E, Southern California Edison, or Southern California Gas. I feel like I might have made that more confusing, but we can serve most customers. So please reach out if you have any questions about eligibility.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Any final thoughts before we end the presentation here? Any other questions? If there are none, I just wanted to move on to this last slide here. Again, this has our 3C REN website. If you're interested or know of anybody that's interested in participating in the program, on our Ag web page, there is an interest form. Submitting that will help you get into contact with us, and then we'll follow up and introduce you with Seinergy, who will then lead kind of the charge of participating in the program. If you have any questions, you're welcome to send us an email at info@3c-ren.org. And if you're interested in hearing about some of our other programs or more information about Ag, we also have a newsletter that you're able to sign up for. So you can also go to our website and sign up there. Thank you, everybody, for participating in the webinar today. Again, as I mentioned, the recording will be available on our website. So if there's any information that you want to revisit, you're more than welcome to check that out and rewatch the presentation. We'll also provide the slides following the conclusion of the webinar. Thanks so much.
Have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Victor.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.